5, brought to you by the Butterfly Palace. Have the best day ever at the Butterfly Palace. Springfield Greene County Park Board, reminding you to go play. Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service. Call Southwest Missouri's best plumber today for a free estimate. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, good morning to you. It is Tuesday. It's still warm outside. Before snow showers? No snow showers. I don't know. Sarah set me straight yesterday, but it's still going to get cold. You can catch up on Abby Dyer's Wake Up Weather after this, but first let's do some news.
All right. Missouri Prime Beef Packers in Pleasant Hope is now closed temporarily. The closure was unplanned and the result of some operational challenges related to wastewater management at the facility. The company was asking the Department of Natural Resources to allow it to dump more than 350,000 gallons of treated wastewater each day into the Pomme de Terre River. It has since rescinded that request after the DNR made it clear that it would deny the permit. The meatpacking plant is trying to find something else to do with that treated wastewater in the meantime. The Springfield Greene County Health Department, meanwhile, Bench Building is now closed for renovations. The building located on Chestnut Expressway will be closed through the summertime. This week, Health Department services are unavailable, but will resume next Monday at a new location, which we told you about previously. It's at the Cox North Medical Tower on Robertson, right by Commercial Street in Boonville.
Okay. A couple of things in the Missouri legislature that we wanted to tell you about. One of the bills would allow more options in the state for people getting their doctorate and research degrees. Right now, the University of Missouri is the only place in public university, at least, to offer research doctorate degrees and some other degrees in dentistry, law, medicine, optometry, pharmacy, or veterinary medicine. The new bill would open that option to other public schools in the state, including Missouri State right here in Springfield. So it is just getting started in the legislature. We'll let you know how that shakes out. Meanwhile, another bill in the legislature would increase the statute of limitations in Missouri on child sexual abuse. Currently, child victims of abuse must contact law enforcement or sue by the time they're 31 years old. This bill would extend the statute of limitations by 10 years by the time the victim is 41 years old. So that's a difference. Also being voted on, making its way through the legislature, not a done deal.
All right. 11 people were indicted in a fraud scheme that abused the COVID-era Paycheck Protection Program. The federal grand jury in Kansas City came back with those indictments. People accused are from Kansas, Missouri, and Texas. The dollar amount of that fraud was more than $220,000. All right, now to this. Who says Springfield is behind the times? Nobody, right? Because in downtown, robots are cooking Chinese food.
Wow, this is like a dream come true. I've always wanted this to happen.
Yeah, there was a story in the Springfield Daily Citizen. Great resource there about the new restaurant called Rice and Dumpling on South Jefferson. And surprised to read that apparently 2 robots do the heavy lifting in there. They do all the cooking, and they can cook most dishes in less than 4 minutes.
Wow. That's worth going in just to see those things and have a meal cooked by a robot.
Well, we were in Seattle.
Oh, yeah. Seattle.
Last summer, and there was a coffee shop in Seattle, not Starbucks. Yes, we know that there's a Starbucks there, but there's a different one that is 100% robot. You type your order into a kiosk,
right,
and then you watch the robot go over and make your drink. And then the robot like goes like this and like sits it on the counter, and like it has like a stir stick and stirs it. And then it like the hand like picks up and like removes, and the coffee is sitting there.
Right.
It was pretty crazy.
And if you cause a problem, it will reach over, grab your arm, and rip it out of its socket in one motion.
Oh, man. Anyway, Rice and Dumpling, the Chinese restaurant in Springfield, is open right now in downtown, but they have a grand opening in a couple weeks.
That's cool. Now I want to go there just to try
how that goes.
robot food. They're taking over. I've told you about this.
Well, they
Doesn't
do want to take
doesn't
over.
end
In
well.
fact, the owner said that he's hoping to make Chinese food as inexpensive and readily available as the McDonald's hamburger.
Okay.
So therefore, if that happens, they would be taken over.
I guess so. All right, downtown Springfield. Who knew? Who knew? NFL insiders saying Andy Reid will get a contract extension. That, with the Chiefs, of course, that would make him the highest paid coach in the league. He's already the oldest at age 65, about to turn 66 next month. Reid, but he says that isn't old, and I agree with him. That's not old. Reid put retirement, the older I get, the more I feel that way. Reid put retirement rumors to rest immediately after the Super Bowl, saying that, yes, he will be back as head coach. And tomorrow morning, the Chiefs will tell us what their plans are for the renovation of Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs are hoping Jackson County residents will approve a 3/8 cent sales tax to pay for those improvements. And you'll recall, also on the ballot coming up on April 2nd is a possible new stadium and location for the Kansas City Royals, also paid for in part taxpayers, which sometimes doesn't go over all that well.
Correct.
So how things go in Kansas City, because Andy Reid's going to become the highest coach ever at like $16 million a year, and taxpayers are paying him on top of the tickets. But
Right. Yeah.
that's another story. They love their Chiefs.
All right. This is a very important update. In fact, we should have led the newscast. We're kind of burying the lead. The emu was caught, everybody. The
what?
wild weekend is over. The emu.
Okay. Did you
Did I
practice
say
that?
it right?
Did you practice that all day
I
yesterday?
practiced it like 17 times before we went on the air. Like I had to treat it. I had to treat it as a name from a foreign country.
I was talking with a friend yesterday.
You know what I'm talking about. Like
I do,
covering
yeah.
crime in courts, you often come up with names, and you better nail them because the story is important. This one less so, but
do that.
Nonetheless, I want to be accurate.
I do that, and then I get like a regular word like is wrong because I focus so much on the
because you've
big word.
practiced so hard. I know. So I said it about 17 times out loud before we went on the air this morning, and I am here to report that it has been recaptured by its owner, mind you, and all is well if it ends well.
That is an important update. People were sitting on the edge of their seats.
I know. I was too, in fact. All right. Former professional race car driver Danica Patrick is going to be speaking in Springfield tomorrow night. And if you want to, you can go listen to her for free. So that's exciting. She is a professional racing driver, a woman, which made her quite the trailblazer. And she competed in both Indy cars and NASCARs during her career. She will be at Hammond's Hall for the Performing Arts tomorrow night at 7. It is free and open to the public. First come, first serve seating.
That's cool. Yeah.
I wonder how that'll do. I have a friend from college, who is a huge race car fan. But outside of her,
NASCAR?
Yeah, I don't know NASCAR. I don't know of any of my other friends who are diehards. She doesn't live in Springfield, but like she's one who would be like lined up to go. I assume that those people exist, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know there's NASCAR fans, but like, are there Danica Patrick fans?
Yeah, I'm sure there are Danica Patrick fans. I think, yes, there are Danica Patrick.
When Riley Gaines
she's retired now.
and Bethany Hamilton were here recently at the Library Center, it was a huge crowd. Huge crowd.
It was a big crowd.
So
it was a big crowd. Yeah, I think it seats 3,000 or so over there. So I'm sure she'll draw a big crowd.
Good times.
The weather, the way that it's been over the last, all of February, it seems like. It feels like baseball weather here in the Ozarks. And it just so happens that spring training is now underway for the Cardinals and Royals, which is
right on cue.
Very, very good news. And now the St. Louis Cardinals have announced the 2024 nominees for possible induction into the St. Louis Cardinals Hall of Fame. It's a fan vote, so fans get to vote on these nominees, and here they are. Steve Carlton, check. George Hendrick, Big George. Matt Morris, and Edgar Renteria. Got some big names on that list.
The only one that you said check on was Steve Carlton. Is that your only vote?
Well, he is a shoo-in. Steve Carlton is he's in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. He's a big deal. He was a Cardinal for a while too. He wasn't as long as some of these guys. Big George Hendrick played on the 82 team. Matt Morris, Edgar Renteria, they were around in 406, those time periods. So I think I know who I'd vote, but we'll see what the public does. Okay. Voting is open now, and you go to the Cardinals website to do that. It ends on April 26th. So
when you say he's a shoo-in, funny, I think we've both in our careers, I mean, we're no Hall of Famers, but certainly we have both heard the words, oh, you're a shoo-in, to only not get the position.
Did I just jinx it?
Yeah, you might have.
I jinxed it for Steve Carlton.
Famous last words. Oh, he's a shoo-in. And then we're going to get the results. Steve's not going to be in there. And then you're going to get the blame. And you know what? Maybe you should.
Perhaps I should own that. My roommate in it was right after college. So I was in Las Vegas. I was working at the TV station. Had a roommate, Adam, the tomato can, and one day,
Ethan has nicknames for everybody.
Greg Norman was running away with the Masters, and it was that Sunday morning, and we were going somewhere, and I said, "Oh, I don't want to miss the Masters," and he goes, "Oh, it's Norman's. He can't lose." He said he can't lose. And then Norman had a very famous blow up. I mean, he had a meltdown and lost the Masters.
Ugh. And it's a mental game.
And there's an ESPN, I think it's a 30 for 30 about that meltdown. There's one about Jean Van de Velde as well at the British Open. But man, it's Adam's fault. It's a tomato can's fault.
Yeah,
so I remind him of that every time I see him.
for Steve, because you just said check, like as
Steve Carlton.
As if it were
you can come back. You can come back whenever they announce this and see if I'm right.
Okay.
But he will be one of the. He will be one of the 3, 4.
Okay. Well, have a great Tuesday, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
All right.
Enjoy some warm weather again today before a little bit colder temps tomorrow.
But just one day of cold, so that's good. That's good.
And then we kind of bounce back, so it's exciting.
Normal February. All right. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.